Hey, how you doing? It's Tim. Let's have a quick conversation about what you charge for your product or services. Now, if you feel that you're getting paid very well and you're getting paid what you're worth, congratulations. You're in like the top 3% of everybody because most people struggle with this, especially those in the helping profession. People that want to make the world a better place, people that want to help others to achieve their goals or achieve their financial freedom, or they want to live healthier lives, or they want to have happier marriages, or they want to let go of the past so that they can feel happy and joyful inside and have confidence. People helping the people in the people helping profession are notorious at undercharging. And there's a couple of reasons for this, and I want to go through them with you right now. So if you are someone who is struggling with how much do I charge and I want to raise my prices, but I'm afraid that my clients are going to laugh at me, ha ha ha, and storm out and throw fruit at me and say, you're a joke. There's no way I would pay you that. These fears that we have in our mind. And so what happens is there's a race to the bottom. Most life coaches, most consultants are a commodity these days. People aren't standing out. And so when you have a commodity, it's just well, if we do a great job and we offer great service and we really care about our clients and we've been in business for so many years, that sounds the same, right? So what's different? Price. So it's a race to the bottom. When you're a commodity business, it's who has the cheaper price. So I am not in a commodity business, right? I have unique, amazing services with my one belief away method, and my clients get outstanding results. And so it separates me from the pack. And that's how I present it to my clients, which is why I charge more. And I get it because people see the value. You get what you pay for. However, there's two challenges that I had to go through that you've been probably going through as well. And so that's why I want to help you out with that real quick today. So the first one is our own insecurities about charging. If you didn't grow up with a lot of money, then you probably have money issues. There's never enough, right? So we have so much pressure and stress around money all the time. And what we do is we project our own fears and our own worries onto our customers. So we think, well, if I offer them this big package, maybe I couldn't afford that. And if I can't afford that, how could they? And I don't want to lose the sale. So I'm just not going to ask for it. And anytime I did that, I'd be so mad. I have so many different memories of telling people that, well, what I'm going to offer you is worth $3,500, but I'm going to give it to you for only $900. And they're like, oh, that's really great. I was willing to pay you, at least $1,500. And I'm like, okay, I just lost $600 because what I should have done is charge the $3,500 instead of $900. Why did I give such a big discount? And it was because I was afraid I wouldn't get it, right? And that fear ends up sabotaging us. I also made the mistake of deciding for somebody else what they should do. I didn't realize I was doing that. But if I don't offer you a bigger priced item, I always say we have an economy program and we have a Cadillac program, or we've got a live coaching offer and we've got an online do-it-yourself program. So there's always two options, no more than that. If people have, well, we got 6 different options and 5 different payment plans, then people get confused, and a confused mind takes no action. It should be one simple step, right? And so if you're like, well, I don't want to do this because I'm afraid that I'm going to lose the sale, then all of a sudden you put all this pressure on yourself, and then you end up just dropping your price down again. And then afterwards you feel frustrated, right? And if you're feeling frustrated because you somehow are providing more than what you're getting paid for, or you're not feeling appreciated, it's going to show up in your enthusiasm. You're not going to show up on your calls with someone and be super excited if you feel like somehow you've ripped yourself off, right? So there is also this fear that if I ask for what I want, then, I'm not going to have as many clients. And that can be a good thing. When you ask for what you want and you raise your prices, then you won't have as many clients. You'll have the best clients. You'll have your ideal clients, because I have found that when you are, when you're working with people, whoever pays more attention. Whoever pays more attention. My ideal clients that are paying 10, 20, $30,000, they pay more attention than the clients that I had that were, paying $300, or even $3,000. Because think about it, from your point of view, if you paid $500 to work with someone, or you paid, $50,000 to work with them, what would you do? What would you pay attention to the most, right? If you paid $50,000, you're like, I'm doing this, right? I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to show up at every meeting early. I'm going to take notes. I'm going to apply. I'm going to make it happen, because you have a lot of skin in the game. If it's only $500, you might show up, you might implement, right? Or you might not. And so people who pay attention, and the more you charge, the more they're going to get better results, because they're going to have more skin in the game. So you upping your prices actually is good for your client. It's actually good for them, because it'll cause them to be more engaged. And when they're more engaged, they get better results. And then that's how they win, right? And then you win as well. And we create a win-win situation. So we have these fears that are our own fears that we project. The other side of it is the fears that your customers or your clients might have, right? Because people have so many issues around money that you might give them your price, and you're really excited about it because you know that it's going to give them tremendous value. And then they're like, oh, wow, that's expensive. That's more than I thought it was going to be. No matter what I price my programs at, people would say that, even back when it was $150 for a session, people are like, oh, wow, that's kind of expensive. So it didn't really matter what the price point was. People have money issues, and so they would say the same thing. And what I would do in that situation is simply say, it's an investment, and it's a wise investment in you. And then I get quiet. I shut my mouth. I don't say anything else. And I wait for them to say something, because I want to know what they're going to say. And you know what? In most situations, because I've added so much value before we ever got to that enrolling conversation, they say, well, it's an investment, but I'm worth it. Or I need to do something, or this makes a lot of sense, everything you've said, so I'm just going to go for it. In fact, a lot of people that have said, oh, wow, this is really expensive, I don't know if I can afford this. By the end of our conversation, they're like, you know what? Do you take credit cards? I'm like, yes. They're like, all right, let me give you my card. I'm doing this. Because I got quiet. What most people do in that situation is they try to explain the value. Wow, it's really expensive. Well, yeah, it might feel that way. However, you got to make the commitment to do this, and put in the hard work, which you never want to say commitment and hard work, because psychologically it causes people to feel like this is going to be a lot of work, and nobody wants a lot of work, right? They want it to feel quick and easy. And then we'll keep talking, right? So, and I'm sure there's ways that you can do this. Maybe you can borrow money. Maybe you can, put it on a credit card. And then all of a sudden they're thinking about credit card debt, and they're thinking about all this other work that they have to do. And all of a sudden it feels like a lot of effort. You don't have to be a financial planner for them, unless, of course, that's your job, right? You don't have to figure out their finances. What you've got to do is get them to realize that it's going to cost them much, much more if they don't move forward with your program. And that's how it is with me. So when I would help people with anxiety, when you have anxiety, it just rules your life. I mean, you just can't get away from it. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life that might be good. When you're feeling stressed and scared and pressured and worried and afraid all the time, and you're not sleeping at night and you're constantly worrying, then it just robs you of any kind of joy, even if things are going good in your life. I have a lot of clients that'll be like, I can't understand this. My life's, pretty good. Everything's going pretty well. And yet I just got this horrible feeling of panic and I can't shake it. Right. And so to be able to get rid of that, how much is that worth? Right? How much is that worth to you? Because if you're not feeling good, or if, you're a wellness expert and you're trying to help someone get healthy, how much is your health worth? Right? If you're not healthy and you don't feel good, how much is your health worth? It's worth everything. I've had clients who are millionaires, but they were really unhealthy, or they were really overweight. And so they were miserable. And so even though they had all kinds of money and material success, they were not happy because they didn't have their health. Your health is everything. And so how much is that worth? So when I used to help people stop smoking back in the day, I would say, well, I've got this $700 program and you won't smoke anymore. And they'll be like, oh, wow, that's expensive. I'm like, well, how much do you smoke every day? Two packs a day. How much are you spending? Back then it was $5-6 a pack. Now it's like 8, 9, 10. Right. And so they're, well, a couple $1,000s a year. This program's only, $500, whatever it might have been. And they're like, yeah, I know, but I don't spend it all at the same time. and I'm like, okay, well, you just send me $5 every single day for the whole year and we'll be fine. And they're like, well, I don't know about that. Right. And so people come up with all kinds of weird excuses. And what you got to do is you got to say, how much is it worth to you not to have emphysema? Call me back when the doctor says, you smoke one more cigarette, you're going to be carrying around an oxygen tank. How much would you pay then not to have that? Right. And so we're preventing that now so you don't have to go through this. So you've got to take a stand for your client. You've got to help them realize that this is smart and that they need to do this. It's not a pressure close, but it's an enrollment where you know that if they don't work with you, then they're either not going to do anything, which is going to be a disaster, or they're going to go to somebody else who might not give them the same kind of results as you. There's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of so-called experts out there who are not delivering the exceptional results. Hopefully you are. And because of that, they should go to you and you should do everything you can to enroll them into that process. And some of the things that you can do is send them tremendous value before you even have that kind of conversation, so that they know exactly who you are, exactly what you're going to do for them, exactly how you're going to help them, and exactly how you're going to deliver that product or service to them, and then what's going to happen afterwards, so that they have all their answers or all those questions answered, and maybe even figure out what their biggest objections are and bring them up and answer them in advance as well, so that when they finally come to you and they show up, you know that they're ready to enroll and take that next step because you've answered their questions. You made it all about them. Notice I didn't say tell them all about you and your product and your service and how you are. I said make it about them, right? So make sure if you didn't catch that part, you go back and rewatch this video, because when I said that, it was all about what they're going to get, what's in it for them, right? They don't care about you, as nice as you may be. They don't care about you. They care about what they're going to get and how it's going to be delivered and if it's going to work for them or if it's just going to be another disappointment. And so you've got to make sure that you give them tremendous value before you even have that enrolling conversation. And remember, notice the words I use. It's an enrolling conversation, right? We're not signing anybody up. We're not selling anybody. We're serving. We're enrolling. We're empowering. That's what we're doing. It should feel like it's not a high-powered sales close where you're going to ruin your life if you don't do this, but it's more of an enrolling thing where you are going to experience a significantly better life by getting these tools and these resources. And I want to help you, and we're ready to go. So, you have that kind of conversation so that they understand that they're at a fork in the road, right? And they can keep doing what they've been doing, which isn't working, or they can go down this new path and suddenly start having the breakthroughs that they've been hoping for. So make sure that you're paying attention to your own beliefs. Remember, you're just one belief away from having a significant breakthrough. And for that, pay raise, have more money in your pocket so that you can take all that financial pressure off of you and your family. So you can get rid of your own price objections. And then you can also feel more excited. So when somebody else has a price objection, you're like, bring it on, right? Because this is just going to build our relationship, get past that obstacle, and get you on to the good stuff, which is enrolling in one of our programs. I remember I was selling vacuum cleaners door to door back, 40 years ago, 30 years ago. And I remember when I would pull up into somebody's driveway, if they leaned out the door and they said, you can come in, but I'm not buying that thing. Every time somebody said that, most people would just say, come on in. But anytime someone came out the door and said, you can come in, but I'm not buying that thing, they bought it and they paid full price. We called it a full boater, right? They paid for the full thing. And I would get so excited when someone would tell me no right off the bat, because in my brain, that meant they were buying. And so remember, a no just means I'm not sure yet. I need more information. I need you to make me feel safe that this is a smart deal. A lot of times when people say that they can't afford it, they can afford it. They're just using that as an excuse because they don't believe you, or they haven't built enough value or enough trust in you yet, or they're confused. And so the more you make it easy, the more you build trust, the more you lay it out for them, and the more you make it feel simple, easy, and compelling and like the right thing to do, then the more they're going to say yes to you. So I hope this helps. If you have any other questions about this, then let me know. Leave a message in the comments. Thanks so much. Have a good day. Now go raise your prices.